Hey,
You're nicking my questions here, mate. We can't be having this.
it's
Steve,
because I said
Steve. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Food Club. This is a slightly new video. We have got a guest on Zoom. We're going to do like an interview. Chef content was going to be a big part of our plans, and since lockdown, we haven't been able to get out to restaurants to talk to them. However, I'm joined now by Steve Barringer from Eileen. Hello, mate.
hello, mate. You all right?
How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Apart
How are
from the
you coping with?
situation.
Yeah, how are you coping with lockdown so far?
Yeah, all right, mate. I haven't killed anyone yet, so I'm all right.
That's always positive, isn't it, mate?
Or I haven't been killed myself by the wife, but no, it's kind of obviously apart from not being able to cook in the restaurant, mate. It's all right.
Yeah. So talk to me about lockdown. How has it affected your business? Obviously, takeaways are still being able to operate under strict circumstances, but restaurants, however, are still shut. How are you finding it?
Yeah, so we're still shut. We're looking at the moment about doing takeaway at the moment.
Really?
Yeah, looking into it just to sort of get myself out there and just maybe cook and just keep myself a bit sane, really. But just basically sort of having this time to sort of think of new ideas, new dishes, and
That's it, mate.
just really sort of assess and look at what we've been doing, what we can be doing, and how we can improve really going forward. So
Yeah, wicked.
yeah, it's been spending time with family as well. To be fair, really.
Yeah,
But, yeah.
I've seen you on your Instagram down the park playing football, mate.
Yeah.
Is that exercise?
He's only 4, mate. He still beats me.
So, Steve, look, some people watching this video now might not necessarily know who you are or what you do. Give us a little bit of a background about you as your chef in history and what you're working in now, what your restaurant is all about. Give us a bit of an overview.
So I'm now 34. I started out when I was 15 in a little sort of country house hotel restaurant in Bedfordshire. And at the same time, I was going to college when I was 16. And then I went to a place in Northamptonshire called Rushton Hall, which is really where like I proper had the drive. Like, I was always I was never good at school. So in terms of cooking, it was obviously my grandma massively inspired me sort of growing up, really. She was a chef in the war and worked in the local pub where she lived. Just like her food was incredible, and it's that sort of ethos, and even the flavours I cook now, everything sort of goes from there, really. But when I went to this place in this Rushton Hall in Northamptonshire, it's where I really sort of I worked with this amazing chef called Adrian Coulthard. Probably the best chef I've worked for.
Really?
His drive and his passion, and he's just everything had to be perfect. And working for him was that's where I just like really just got the bug even more. I was 20 when I went there.
Wow.
So I was working at the first place from I was 15, left when I was 19, went to Rushden Hall when I was 20. I was there for 2 years, and then I went down to Devon and Cornwall, which I loved. And at 25, took on a place of sort of sous chef. I was running the kitchen for about 8-9 months.
Good experience.
It was lush. It was the first time I was proper like running the kitchen and
bit of responsibility.
Yeah, 25 it was quite difficult with a team of about 6 underneath me as well. But my general manager was like pushing me. He was like he loved my cooking, and at that time I was just like proper raw and just like overcomplicating things.
Yeah.
But like he saw something in me, and he made me go from MasterChef to professionals.
Wow.
In 2011. So
talk to us about that. Obviously, I heard probably about that before I heard of your restaurant. This guy that was on MasterChef. You got to the final. Is that right?
Yeah. So I was in the final. So there's 3 of us in the final. Came running up. Yeah, in 2011. So
what was that like as an experience?
Amazing. To be fair, it's the best thing I've ever done. To be honest, I never really had I never really felt like I had confidence in what I did. Even going into the show, really, it was, you got on there through thousands of people, and then you get down to 40 that you see on TV, and I didn't really have that confidence. I remember now, clear as day, the producer asking me, in the restaurant in Devon I was working, do you think you can win it? And I was like, nah. And it was a bit of a cliche of like, I genuinely kept saying it was like, I take one step at a time, one round at a time. I'll just go in there, just cook, because you don't know who you're up against. And it was hard, but I kept myself busy and I just pushed them to my ability. But yeah, it was amazing, and it just gave me a massive confidence boost, really.
Yeah. Well, that's wicked to hear, mate. Like, so obviously the food review fans will know that we came to your restaurant and did a review. Here's the little man, look.
Leo, say
there we go.
Can't see him. Look, Leo, look.
Hello.
Look, that's Matt. Say hello, Matt.
Hello, Matt.
Hello, mate.
What's your name?
What's your name? Leo, yeah?
Yeah.
He'll be the inspiration behind the next phase in your journey, won't he, mate? So the food review fans will know we came to your restaurant to do a review.
Yeah.
Big learning curve for me. I was nervous coming to your place because I've not spent much time eating in the, I'm not gonna say fancy food, but what I thought was fancy food. But when I was eating it and afterwards, what I soon realised was that was just like home cooked, brilliant, like passionate food. And speaking to you in the restaurant, you quickly told me about your grandma, and it really resonated with me, mate, like on an emotional level. How was the restaurant after review? Did you notice a big a spike, or were people coming in to try the food?
Yeah, definitely. Like, you know, we've always had a good following. Obviously, the MasterChef thing helps, but like, you know, you did a review and how big you've managed to get the food review club. Like, it was crazy. Like, because we had people coming from like Sussex and North. We had someone from Newcastle. We've had people from Crawley.
Wow.
Say like Brighton, like people coming from Brighton down and on the train, and it was massive. It was like, it was constant. People the same. What I loved, and I spoke to you at the time, was that what you were saying about yourself. And I think food is so funny because people, I generally don't like the word fine dining because I think
it made me scared.
Yeah, I'm no different.
Genuinely, I felt a bit out of my depth. Obviously, I do the reviews and people, and they know I like my kebabs and pizza, but that's probably just because I'm scared to go to these places. Like, genuinely, might feel a bit uncomfortable, you know, in that environment. But your restaurant is like super comfortable, really intimate. You're not feeling on top of each other. It's not like the weird atmosphere in the room.
But that's what we try and sort of massively do. That's what me and Amy want to try and do. Really, is that make you feel comfortable. Like, we don't have table class, we don't have this, we don't have that. Like, we make sure, and it sounds a little bit whatever, that you've got an English waiting staff that can sort of do you know what I mean? You go to some places and it's and staff for us is massive. For us is having the people that are friendly, who can talk to you and just have a natter about things. We had customers coming to the restaurant and talking to a member of our staff about Love Island. Like, there's not many restaurants you can go to and have, I think, top quality food, good service, but then the staff are relatable as well. And it's like, we've got people that have conversations, that love coming, love the staff, love talking to them. And that's what we want, is making people feel comfortable, because I think that's what it's about. It's like, like you say, coming into our home sort of thing.
That's another thing I'll touch on. This would be interesting to pick your brains on this. One thing I noticed with your restaurant first, and others since I've been to some better, higher quality places, is that the waitresses and waiters are like professionals. They're knowledgeable. They're super helpful. That the standard that they deliver is so much higher than what you get in a mediocre place. Is that something you have to work very hard with them? Because we were asking them questions about the food, the wine, and they knew everything. And then you guys were bringing out the food. You explaining the plate. Like, the standard of service that you set at your restaurant is like, it was crazy. It was actually like mind blowing for us.
Yeah, so this is like the training that Amy puts in. So Amy puts all the hard training for the front.
You can tell.
But then again, it's just letting them have a bit of freedom. It's not really sometimes scripted in a sense. It's like, you know, and also having staff that want to be part of what we're trying to achieve. So a lot of them are like, they want to learn, they want to know everything. They want to know because there's nothing worse than if you coming in
Yeah,
and
feeling
ask
stumped.
the question, and they don't even know either. And it's like, sometimes we don't have to teach it. It's them naturally wanting to learn and wanting to better themselves. And obviously, the chefs in the kitchen with me, the ones that work for me, that's why they explain all the dishes. So they come in, they come in from 9 o'clock in the morning, do all the prep with me. They know everything inside out. So that's why them serving the food and explaining the food, there's no one better serving my food than
I know exactly what they've done to each dish, how they've prepared it, where the produce has come from.
Massively, and also it's for them to sort of to see the customer's point of view and their sort of their reaction. A chef doesn't.
I love it, mate.
A chef's normally stuck in the kitchen with no windows, don't communicate unless you're asking a you don't see a customer, and it's like when they first come to me, they're always like, "Chef, like I've got to talk to a customer." I'm like, "Yeah," and but
I would imagine the first few times they do it are difficult, but they'll soon get over it when they realise how they're only just talking about the food, aren't they?
Yeah, but then now, like they spend most of the time in the restaurant and start having a nap, have to crawl them back in.
So let's talk about your food then. What are you? Obviously, you're inspired by Eileen, your grandmother. Hence the name of the restaurant. But you change your menus every month. Where do you get your inspiration from? Talk to me about your food. Where are you going with it? What's your aspirations moving forward?
So really, the menus are sort of developed on seasons, really.
Okay.
So speaking to suppliers is massive and key for me. And I've always said that it's obviously a massive chain. It's like there's someone down the line who's picking or fishing or sort of butchering a meat in a sense that then they give it to me. It's like they will tell me when it's at its peak, when the asparagus is at its peak, the strawberries or the celeriacs to a bit of fillet of beef and for me that's massive. Like our job's easy in a sense. I don't like to manipulate it. I want to make sure that just do a little bit to it and just enhance it and bring out the flavour to everything that we do.
Yeah.
And that's it really. So my menu's just like that. So I just basically I wouldn't say I don't invent the wheel, but I don't do anything that's too groundbreaking. I just like to think I'll cook it with love and care and treat it with respect.
As people would have seen on the review that we did, it's astonishing food, mate. It really is. Like, I'm not going to say the word simple because I remember when Jess and I asked you about I won't ruin her question, but your bread roll, and there was about, you went on for about 5 minutes about how you cook the bread roll and the, what was it? The onion powder. Yeah. It's not even something so simple. It looks simple, tastes simple and amazing, but we know full well that there's lots going on behind the scenes. Yeah. But that's kind of the vibe, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing.
Good stuff done well.
Food, that's the thing. Simple food is actually like the hardest you can do. It's like, but then I only have like 3 or 4 ingredients. It could be done different ways, and it's just how we can enhance it. So yeah, going forward, the aspirations, like people always say to me about a Michelin star. Obviously, yeah, of course, that's probably my goal. But for me,
you're nicking my questions here, mate. We can't be having this.
It's because I said carry on.
Oh, mate, fucking hell. So I take it that is a goal of yours, yeah?
Cool.
Like every chef?
Yeah, massively. But for me, obviously the goal is different from being a restaurant owner. It's the fact that for me, massively, it's about having a full, happy restaurant every week, and
the rest will follow.
Course, and it's like there's no point. I've always said it. I say it to customers every day and every week that I love a Michelin star, but it's no point having a Michelin star and having one customer in a restaurant. Do you know what I mean? It's like having a full restaurant, every Friday and Saturday, and then during the week, and then that's the aim really. Just have happy customers. Accolades will come, and for me, for my staff, that's important because they work hard as well and. Getting any accolades and any achievements for them as well. It's not just for me and Amy.
Yeah. No, I like it, mate. I like it. So, Steve, as you know, earlier today, we put out on Instagram a little Q&A for you, mate. Some of these, mate, I can read out. Others we just can't.
What?
Are you these questions? So like, I'm just going to go for it, mate.
Am I going to get? Am I going to get some of your trolls? Am I?
Yeah. I hope not. You guys, thanks for sending the messages, by the way. So I've got one from. All right, I've got to try and read these names out now. Saddam Kaleem, 2020, says, "Do you know Gordon Ramsay?"
Don't know Gordon Ramsay. He follows me on Twitter.
Does he really?
Yeah.
It's basically your best friends, then, yeah.
Yeah, you don't reply back though when I send loads of messages.
Yeah.
So I don't know Gordon Ramsay. Matt, this is the problem. You put on there saying I got a top chef. You're be disappointed.
Yeah, no, I said we've got a top chef coming on, but he wasn't available, Steve. So we unfortunately had to give you a ring, mate.
Yeah, Gordon was the top chef, but then he pulled out, so you got me.
All right, cool. Next question is from Matt CL96. Do you ever make food that you don't like themselves, and how do they know it's good? Question mark.
It's a good question. To be fair, I don't really ever cook anything in the restaurant that I don't like.
Yeah.
There's no point really, because it's different. If I had a shellfish allergy or something, you sort of have to work with it. But there's obviously certain ingredients that maybe if I don't like, I wouldn't cook my food for something I don't like. Like I say, you can't really understand it and understand the flavour. The only thing I'm not a massive fan of it, if I'm honest, is oysters. But I do use them because on certain dishes they do work. But as an oyster, I'm not a massive fan. That's the only thing really.
Good answer, mate. That was good. I actually feel like we're delivering some kind of value for once, mate. Makes a change. We've actually got some interesting content going on.
Yeah.
This is from my wife. I didn't know she sent this in. Just quickly, we've had a message earlier saying that Jess and I are the new Richard and Judy of the media world. I quite like that. What do you think about that?
It's good.
She says, "How do you make the bread and butter so damn good?" Say again.
I thought you can say Torval and Dean.
She says, "How do you make the bread and butter so damn good?" Obviously, there's the onion powder in that as well. Can you talk to everyone at home about Steve's onion powder, bread and butter at the beginning? The first plate of food you get is the best goddamn bread and butter with this onion powder you've ever had in your entire life. Talk to me about it. Yeah,
so we do a Swiss milk bread. So it's a recipe. Basically, I had this recipe when I was 15, working for my first chef, Richard Walker. I've developed it and changed it a little bit to make it a little bit more lighter. But then, so that's really rich. So it's got no water. It's just fully semi-skim milk, butter, sugar. So it's a slightly rich and roll. We serve that with the whipped butter. So we just soften butter and we whip it. And then we make a powder with an oil from burnt onions. So we basically slow roast loads of onions for about 4 hours, submerge it with oil, so simmer that for another 2 hours, we then blend it and hang it, and we get this burnt onion oil, and we emulsify it with a thing called maltodextrin, which basically turns it into like a tapioca starch. Right. So basically you can turn any oil fat into a powder. But so the idea for that really comes, like we were saying about nostalgia, the idea came from me going to the football as a kid and having burger and onions. So having that sort of, smelling that burnt onion with a real sweet like brioche bun, and then when you put the butter on the warm bread, like this is going to sound a little common, you can then get like, we know it dribbles down your chin. Like that's what you saw. And these like people's getting stuck in, so that's where from. And we haven't changed it since day one. That people come back for it, even though some people who come every month want to change it. But I don't know, at the moment it's the one.
I like it, mate. I like it. It's look, we absolutely loved it, mate. And when you came, Jess asked Steve at the restaurant, how did you make the onion powder? He went on for that whole scoop out of the powder, and it's just powder on the plate. You'd think it'd just be like, you get this powder out of a jar, and he's like, no. Roast it for 4 hours, mate, do this, do that, do this. And then we get an oil out of it 6 days later, and then we turn the oil into this, and this, just for a powder. That's the level of extent this man goes to. Right, let's get the next question. What is your favourite? This is from Tiara72. What's your favourite style of food?
My favourite style of food? What, to cook?
Or no, it doesn't say. Do both. To cook and eat.
Well, cooking's my sort of style of food, so it's just like modern British, great ingredients, cook really simply, do different variations. So if you do a parsnip, it'd just be, I won't ever use a parsnip and something else. It'd just be parsnip solely. So it'd be like a puree, roasted, crispy, something like that. Really, it's just quite simple.
Like it.
And then favorite food, was it favorite cuisine? So I love a curry. To be fair, or just like a roast dinner of like everything has a reason for me. Like a Sunday roast for families, and I don't think you can beat it. A curry with some beer and some friends is the best.
Yeah.
I'm no different to everyone else. I like a kebab, or obviously I'm good friends with the big dog Chris Chi, Chicken George. So Chicken George is a go-to just for everyday meal.
Yeah, definitely. Look, our fans know about all about that place. Hopefully, we'll get them on for one of these as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Someone says, Jacob Olbrechts says, "Are you supposed to wash your hands to wash your chicken before cooking or not?"
Wash your chicken?
Wash your chicken before you cook it.
No, don't wash your chicken. No, I don't wash it. No, we always sometimes brine the chicken and stuff. So basically brine it in a water and salt solution. That will sort of kill sort of bacteria anyway. But obviously it's different. If it's dirty, then, then yeah.
But not on the whole.
Nah. Yeah. No. Always wash hands though, yeah? Always wash hands.
Yeah, of course. We've got a message here from Chew Becker saying, "Are there any habits chefs have at home that they would never use in a professional setting?" That's a little bit ambiguous.
No. I'm to be honest, I'm pretty anal in terms of the way I am. My missus, because when I'm at home, if I'm cooking, it doesn't really matter. Like if I'm making a shepherd's pie at home, it's got the same love and care that I would in a restaurant. So
yeah, wicked, mate.
Yeah, I don't really. There's no shortcuts. There's no that's about it.
I'm scrolling through these now. Some of these are not readable, mate. I apologise.
They're probably people I know. That's probably why.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. South East London Town wrote, "Are you worried about your industry and going back into it?"
Massively. It's a worrying time for everyone, really. That's the thing. Like, it's funny as a chef growing up, everyone always says about it's probably one of the safest jobs in a sense that everyone always wants to eat. And going through this is like the first time ever. It's proper hit people hard. I think it might do as well. And obviously having our own business as well, it's a daunting time, really. But I'm confident that it will be all right. I think, I'm lucky that I've got a small team around me anyway. So hopefully they can all come back to work.
I think you'll have no problems, mate. Once this pandemic clears, I think the world will be a different place. But I definitely think people like yourselves, that exclusive dining experience, exclusive, will be safe. I think it'll weed out the people then that necessarily don't need to be there. Do you know what I mean? Do you think? What do you guys think at home to that incredible answer from Steve? What do you think? Get in the comments now and let us know what you think about the restaurant scene when this clears. Are you going to be going out to places like this? Interested to see your thoughts as well. Now, this is an interesting one from the Beats. How common are drug problems I'm assuming there's been drug and alcohol problems in commercial kitchens. There was a documentary on this, wasn't there, with Gordon Ramsay about that, and apparently it was rife.
I don't know. I've never. I say never.
Something you've experienced?
I personally don't ever do drugs. No. I think the thing is I can see why, because the hours. When I was younger, we used to do some ridiculous hours. You're starting from 5 in the morning and finishing at like 1 o'clock, 1:30 at night. Going home, and I know a lot of people in London obviously trying to get home. It takes them about an hour to get home. But when I worked at Rushden Hall, the hours were crazy. But it's just trying to be successful. But you just end up drinking a load of coffee, Red Bulls, and stuff like that. I remember one year got rushed to hospital because I used to drink too much coffee and Red Bull over a Christmas period. worked
That's
10
actually quite serious, isn't it? You get your heart
I
palpitations.
worked 10 days solid, and on Christmas Eve, it was like the 10th day, and it was like was due a day off. He gave me the evening off, and I remember going home and then couldn't breathe. Got rushed to hospital with heart problems because of coffee. That's what chefs do. Then there's some chefs that probably do dabble in drugs, but to get himself through, I'm not really ever seen it too much, to be honest.
No, it's not. It's probably something that people are hiding. But from that documentary, whenever you guys saw it, it was rife.
Yeah.
Next question. This is a really good one, by the way. What for you? This is from Big Scotty G. Great name, by the way. Big Scotty G. Do you know him? No.
I should do, yeah.
But this is actually probably the best question. What for you is more rewarding, the way the food looks or how it tastes?
Oh, taste all day long.
All day long.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like growing up, in terms of, say, I'm 34 now, and I remember when I was cooking my own food at 25, like my own style of food. I mean, it's completely different to me now. It's like I remember when I was 25 and I'm sort of creating dishes and putting things on the plate.
Nice.
That like looks really good. And I always say now we're not trying to make the Eiffel Tower. Like for me, it's like it's cooking food and serving food to when it's at its peak, and letting the customer have it at its peak and not dying in the kitchen, not putting too many fingers and thumbs on it. Just get out to the customer when it's cooked at its peak. Obviously, looks nice.
I love it.
I don't really manipulate it. I make sure it looks good, but it's all about the taste all day long.
Wicked. One last question. We've got, just so you know, there's been loads. So thank you for sending all these in, but we can't do them all. And one is _Coles wrote, any advice for a young chef?
That's a good one. For me, have the right attitude, want to do it, and just get your head down and work hard and learn and listen massively. Find a little restaurant that you love, love the food, and then just basically go and work there. Because any chef, and then if you want to go to college, catering college is also great. I did 2 years at college, but I personally think working in a restaurant or hotel or wherever, it's the best way to learn, really. But that's it. Pick a restaurant that you want, and then and that's it. Just go and work there and just learn, and that's what it is.
And I suppose one thing I'll add to that, just from my experience, not from in the kitchen world, but if you get a no today is not a no tomorrow. You do get turned away from the restaurant. Keep knocking on the door, show your enthusiasm.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like the catering industry is so what's the word? It's not as good as it when I was at college. We had numerous people at college, and now I go to the local colleges. There's probably one class of maybe 10 in a classroom. But when I was at college, there was 3 groups of about 30 in the first year, and nowadays it's not so popular. I'm not sure if it's because of the hours, but everyone's trying to change. Even me now, like I'm sure my boys in the kitchen with me will back it up. I want to make sure that they have a good life. We cook great food. I treat them well, and they get 2 days off. We work 5 days. They don't work stupid hours. Like I like to try and look after them, make sure that it's a place where they would want to come to work every single day.
Amazing, mate. Yeah, but it certainly rubs off in your food, Steve.
Yeah.
Anything else you want
to add? No, just there's all you guys out there would love you to come to the restaurant and support us when it's all sorted. And yeah,
I'm sure they will. So look, guys, we've heard it from the man himself. Once this is all over, not just your restaurant, Steve. I think there's going to be
everyone. Yeah.
I think you're speaking on behalf of thousands of restaurant owners around the UK right now. That when this is over, I think they're going to need some massive support, particularly you, because I love you and your restaurant, mate. I'll be coming back. That is for sure. There's no questions asked. But our restaurants around the UK definitely need some support right now. And I think as soon as the restrictions are lifted and it's safe to do so, we'll be back out.
Definitely.
All right. Well, guys, if you've enjoyed this, hearing from the main man himself, give us a thumbs up, give it a share. Go and follow his pages as well. We'll tag them in it. Eileen's Ampthill in Bedfordshire. That's right, isn't it? Yeah, in Bedfordshire. Yeah, in Bedfordshire. Go and check Steve's restaurant out. Go and have a look at their Instagram page too. Got all the snazzy pictures. Go and follow him. Steve, thank you very much for joining us, mate.
Pleasure, Matt.
We'll catch up with you. Catch up with you soon, I hope.
See you soon, mate. Take care.
Thanks for your time, mate. Bye-bye.
My pleasure, mate. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.